3 days ago. Robbery of a
might be on. I don't know. I wonder who Chris and Ty. Good evening, everyone. This is Chris Dye with DelCo Water. It is now 6:30. I still see some people popping in. We'll give it just a couple of more minutes for people to log in and we'll get started for tonight.
Bill, you look all official in those headsets.
Yeah, I got a nudge office. My wife was a client in my office and her administrative assistant is in office, and I ended up having to sit here in the living room, and I figured I'd just put the headphones on. That might eliminate the distractions.
Makes sense. Bobby just thought you looked good. I thought I'd tell you.
Well, I don't have my aviation headset on with the microphone and everything.
Yeah.
That'd be,
Yeah. No.
Okay, Di, I'll have it.
All right, it is 6:32. We're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's public meeting. This is the first official meeting post-construction, starting of the construction at Mount Air. I think we have some exciting progress to share with you this evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. I think Bill and Laura are both on. We're going to, first up, we're going to do some Mount Ayr Water District updates, if there are any. And then we're going to jump into the project updates and then open it up for questions, comments, concerns, and get those answered for you. So Bill, Laura, do you have anything for us this evening?
It's Laura. There aren't really any updates. I know the township has been in contact with DelCo, about some of the bond questions, but we got all that resolved. So there is nothing that I have further.
And from my standpoint, it's really just the construction update. Our current system is working well still. And we only had one small issue with the construction hitting a service line so far. I am going to be back up with the system, so there's an issue. I don't know how to system and what would need to report the depressurization event, and Bill Mart and Dave, and I think everybody that needs to has got his contact information. So hopefully there won't be anything that goes amiss while I'm gone, but I should be back a week from this coming Saturday.
Okay, I'm not sure if everybody heard that clearly. It was quite broken up on my end. Did everybody hear that okay?
No.
Little broken up.
No.
You're basically gonna be gone next week.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone next week, and Greg Bart is going to be backing me up. He has the information that he needs to be able to do depressurization. And Bill, Mark, and Dave, and I think everybody that needs to should have his contact information.
Okay, thank you much. Thank you guys for that update. Moving right along, if I can get my screen to move here. Again, I just wanted to update everybody. The contact for construction is Bill Mart with CT Consultants. His contact information is on screen. I do believe he is on the call this evening to help facilitate some answers for any questions tonight. There's been no major change orders, but there have been a couple of things that have come up. They have gone ahead and authorized GE Baker to do some directional drilling instead of open cut where it makes sense. Mostly this comes around some of the trees. And then there are a few areas where the gas lines are crowding the new water line installation. So we will be moving the water lines to avoid any conflict with those gas lines. And those pricing alterations will be tabulated as these changes happen, if they happen. Not a whole lot has happened with that just yet, just a couple of instances. Bill, Dave, anybody want to add to that?
We did have a small snafu where they hit a unmarked gas line or a mismarked gas line that was able to be taken care of, but hopefully we don't have another one of those, but we rely on the markings of Columbia Gas in this case, and they were off by 6-8 feet, something like that. So it does happen. But some people might have had a little disruption in their service, but thank heavens we're not in winter, so it's all good now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dave. So project completion to date, and this was as of end of business yesterday. We are 34% complete, leaving us with 66% of the project left to go. So we've made some good strides since they started their construction. And we put together a map real quick to show what has been installed so far of the project. Dave, do you want to speak to this at all?
Certainly. You can see the main trunk line that comes out of Delaware County, the 8-inch, and then goes all the way down to Mulberry Drive and stops. which is 100% of the 8-inch, which is the largest diameter that we're putting in as part of this project. It is all complete. They've, as you can see, they've done all of Beach Drive. They've come down Ash Drive and gone east down Lakeshore. They have a little bit of 2-inch left to lay on Lakeshore going west of Walnut, and then they have a little bit of 2-inch going east of Walnut on Lakeshore also. And then they'll be coming down to the Mulberry section and starting in there. So the bigger pipe, the 8-inch is all in. Everything else that's left is, 6-inch or smaller, which is good. There's less mess on the smaller diameter pipes typically. So, the harder stuff is done.
I'm going to pause here for a moment. Does anybody have any questions of about the completed construction?
It's Laura. I'm just amazed how much you guys have gotten done in such a short amount of time. I'm just blown away. Thank you.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. We've had some good weather. Hopefully it holds and we don't have another cold snap or winter weather come our way anytime soon. Hopefully we're done with that. Anybody else have any questions before I move on? Okay, these are just some quick pics that we took, Bill took, and I believe Chris Hoffman from DelCo took some of these pictures as well. Dave, do you want to walk through some of these pictures and describe what's going on with some of them?
Sure. I mean, some of it's pretty self-explanatory, but you can see the middle picture is from Lakeshore Drive. They're inside the pavement there. Pavement will be restored. We have pre-construction video of everything. So, as you see some of the pavement being disturbed, we're going to get it put back. One of the things you aren't seeing in any of the pictures, we have not set any of the fire hydrants. And to give you a little background on that, DelCo typically uses a national standard fire hydrant, but because you're in Franklin County and the Worthington Fire Department is typically used to connecting to City of Columbus style hydrants, we actually ordered a specific type hydrant that has that connection for them, but also has what we call the 2.5 connectors that DelCo uses. And so your hydrants is kind of a hybrid. So it took a little longer to get in. And so that's going to delay us actually filling some of the lines, pressure testing them and back teeing them. But we're hoping to have those in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and they can start putting some of those in. So you'll see those start to pop in. The blue pipe, obviously it's PVC water line, what's called bell and spigot, male, female end. We've been using this pipe for 50 years. We've had great luck with it. And I anticipate that it's going to do well for you for a long time. I'm hoping to get 100 years out of it. So, obviously you can tell they're making a little bit of a mess, but again, just like the pavement, we will do a full restoration on the yards and everything. The only thing that cleanup wise that the contractor won't handle is if you have to put in a service line. But outside of that, we'll take care of all that cleanup. If you have, concerns or issues, ongoing construction, obviously feel free to reach out to Bill Mart or myself, DelCo Water in general, and we'll hopefully get those resolved.
Great, thank you, Dave. Anybody have any questions at this point? I only have one more slide, and it's the construction schedule. It's the estimated construction schedule. Any questions at this point before I share that slide and then open it up for
Yeah, Dave, since you mentioned the service lines, one of the questions that people have had is whether GE Baker was interested in quoting on doing the service lines. I haven't heard anything further on that. Have you got any information on whether or not they're still planning to put together some kind of a quote to do service lines?
I believe they are. I wasn't in the office today, so if it came in today, I may not have seen it yet, but yeah, they said they would definitely get us something at some point. I have not seen it yet.
Hey,
Okay.
Dave, this is Bill Mart. Yes, Ryan did tell me today that they're putting the price together. Just wanted to know who to send it to. I asked him to send it to you and me, and then we'll get it distributed at everyone. So we should have that early next week.
Great, thank you.
One follow-up on restoration of yards. GE Baker is going to start first thing next week, starting up there in Delaware County and working down to start doing the initial landscaping, seeding, things like that. It won't be the final. It'll just be enough to keep the sedimentation from eroding, but they will be starting on that next week.
Okay, the slide I have here is the same slide from last month. It's still the estimated construction schedule. They have made great progress. Bill, perhaps maybe for next month, if there is a shift in this schedule, if we can get an updated schedule, otherwise we can maintain this, the schedule throughout.
I'll ask them for an updated one now that they have a better idea of how much they can get done per day. They should be able to give us a more detailed schedule on which streets they'll be at. The meters were just approved last week, and they're probably several weeks out yet. So actual meter installation, I would guess next month.
Okay, great.
Could I see the construction map again, please?
Absolutely. Well, let me get my mouse to work here.
Hey, Chris, we got a question in the chat too, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll get to that here after. Is this the map you were looking for?
Yeah, I'm concerned about the watershed. It appears you're gonna catch the upper end of the watershed that clears between Mulberry and Lakeshore. That's a little problem. There's an artesian well through there that drains the properties between Mulberry and Lakeshore. And it's actively used. Somebody needs to be aware of it.
Are you talking on the far west end there?
The artesian well is just at the Sharon Township, Perry Township line, and it runs between Mulberry and Lakeshore, the entire length all the way to the river. It's very hard to tell an artesian well to stop flowing. He doesn't understand these orders. And on the other hand, you've got tile fields, septic systems, aeration systems, the whole length, all the way down that watershed that drain in there and depend on the water flow.
Well, the 8-inch line along the west edge is already installed, and that was drilled through.
I know we noticed the ebb in the water flow, but you're showing an east-west line that's yellow, which I assume is the projected construction line, running east from that 8-inch line. Right.
Actually, I think that's the City of Columbus municipality boundary. The yellow lines are. The blue is the only water lines going.
The blue is the water lines you've completed.
Yes, and we don't show the proposed ones. The set of plans is available on the Mount Air Facebook page and website, I believe, and Bill can or Laura can correct me on that. But
Yeah, that's it's
yeah,
out there.
this is only what we've completed, and the yellow is not indicative of where we're going with water lines. That's just your City of Columbus boundaries.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep watch of the flow down there, but that's why we drilled in that line, the 8-inch going along that township line, to not disturb the stream or any of the trees up through there. And they did a really nice job with it, so it's already in and good to go.
And the water flow has been restored.
yeah, it should have never, it really should have never stopped because,
Well,
you
it
know,
did briefly, but it's been restored now. The last time somebody blocked that artesian well, there was a lot of water and a lot of basements.
okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Okay, I have a couple of chat questions. Lisa made a comment that she had contacted many companies to install service lines and couldn't find a company willing to take on the job. So she's glad that a quote will be coming. Her question is, will it be a lump sum that is divided evenly among all residents, or will it be on an individual basis? My understanding, and I'll end on my answer, is that it'll be a per foot pricing and it's per resident. It is not a lump sum.
That's my understanding too. I haven't seen it yet, but I assume
Am I correct in that, Bill?
lineal foot.
Yeah, let me get unmuted. Yeah, that's my understanding also, is that they would probably have kind of a base rate that would be for a set number of feet, and then a surcharge per foot beyond that minimum amount. And so, yeah, and it would be, individually arranged, and the agreement would be directly between GE Baker and the property owner. Not all properties are necessarily going to have them do it, but anybody that wants them to. I think my understanding is they're just going to have kind of a base rate plus a extra if it's a long run.
I also have a question here from Ruth and Leonard. They're asking for a contact for requesting service line installation by Baker. That information, I believe, will be forthcoming with the quote next week. Bill, do you have a preference there? Are they to deal with you and you coordinate with GE Baker or with GE Baker directly? Do you know yet?
For the service lines, it'll probably be directly with the GE Baker since it's not part of this contract, so.
So I think
Okay.
once we get that quote, we will have to put that information out on the websites. And I'll
Yeah.
probably go ahead and forward the contact information and the quote information to the Mount Air shareholders through the one call and the emails. The people that are not Mount Air shareholders would probably need to just watch the websites to get that information.
And I can put it on the Mount Air Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then from Bob, Di, and Bill, there's a question of when that will be due. I'm assuming you're asking when will the money for the service line be due? That, if that is the case, I can't answer for GE Baker. I'm assuming upon completion or within a normal 15 to 30 day due date range. But I can't answer that for them if that is what you are in fact asking.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions, comments, concerns, general thoughts?
I will mention real quick, one of the residents called us and they were concerned about when G Baker's working on their street that the storm inlets were covered up. And what those are, just in case you see those on your street, is they're dandy bags and they're designed to allow water to pass through them, but it's meant to keep the sediment from going into the storm drains. So if you see those on your street, don't think we're blocking the storm. Now, with that being said, in a torrential downpour, they can probably get overwhelmed because of course it doesn't, it's not as open as the storm drain normally would be. So if it becomes a concern, please, feel free to contact Bill or myself. We can get them removed in an emergency, because we definitely don't want to fill anybody's basement, but at the same time, we have to do that as part of our stormwater management for construction. So, if you see them, just so you know what they're doing.
All right, thank you, Dave. Is there any other questions that you would like to have addressed this evening? All right, no, I'm sorry. Was somebody speaking? I'm sorry.
I don't believe so.
I don't think so, but Chris, once again, this has been a top-notch job. Everybody who's interacted with the contractors has been nothing but positive. I think they're doing an amazing job. And then Tom Chaotti with the township, he was saying last night that he thinks we, really got a good contractor, and everything he's asked for them to do, they've taken care of. So I just appreciate everybody's due diligence on this.
Great, that is great to hear. We're happy that everything is moving along at a good pace and everybody seems to be relatively happy. Please join us again next month. It should be the second Thursday, I think. Again, we'll have additional updates and provide, once again, time for people to ask questions and voice any comments or concerns. All right, everybody. With that, we are done for the evening. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
You're
Thank you,
very,
Chris.
you're very
Thank you, everybody,
welcome.
for your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Good night.
great- Bye-bye.